Hello and a very warm welcome to Meghan and Harry News YouTube channel. I'm Alex, I hope everything is good with you. So, Meghan and Harry have returned back from their tour of New York, and it's interesting to observe the UK media and the predictable negative stories and the angles they attempt to use. There have been negative takes on Meghan's clothes, accusations of small crowds, and of course the use of private jets. But if this report is anything to go by, their opinion has changed in regards to the tabloids. Here we see in Elle magazine how Meghan Markle and Prince Harry feel about the UK tabloids now. Over a year after stepping back from their royal roles and moving to the US, the Sussexes' stance on the tabloids have changed. It says here the British tabloids have long been more critical of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry than other royal family members, regularly scrutinising the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's every move and non-move, despite the fact that the two stepped back from their senior royal family roles over a year ago and moved out of the UK to California. Yes, and we all know why that is, because within the UK there is an orchestrated smear campaign against them, to manipulate the UK public into disliking them, because in the UK the royal family are funded by the public. Meghan and Harry gave that up and became financially independent. They don't take money from the public, and now because they are financially independent and not taking money from the public, the smear campaign must continue in the UK to distract the public from the simple fact that if they were to compare them to the royal family in the UK, people would question why on earth are we funding one of the richest families and organisations in the world, a family that has an estimated worth of over 88 billion. That's why there is a smear campaign. It continues most recently. The tabloids took aim at the couple's New York City trip last week, publishing negative takes on Meghan's wardrobe and its cost, as well as their transportation back home to Montecito, California, among other things. Harper's Bazaar ran a recap of their trip by royal reporter Omid Scobie, who spoke to a friend of Meghan's about how the couple feels about the UK tabloids' treatment of them now. It turns out their stance has changed as they've settled into their California life. The tabloids will do as the tabloids do, the friend said. Only difference now is that they really don't pay attention to it. It doesn't penetrate their world. And being in the USA away from the toxic UK tabloid environment has obviously helped. But that perspective of looking at things only takes into account its effect it has on them personally. The UK tabloids and their smear campaign has never really been about affecting them. It's always been about manipulating the opinion of the public. Now, the private jet story is continuing today. Here we see Meghan Markle and Harry blasted for using 21 private jets while talking about climate, which is an article where they have collated a number of trips and how many private jets were used. It says here on Saturday, the couple appeared at a gig in New York calling for action on climate change before later using a private jet to return home to their home in California. Former government minister Norman Baker, 64, told Newsweek, "It's completely hypocritical for Prince Harry or other members of the royal family to lecture people about climate change when they're emitting more carbon than almost everyone else on the planet. People using private jets are in the top 1% of carbon emitters in the world. Prince Harry needs to stop using private jets, or if he wants to use private jets, he needs to stop lecturing people on climate change. It's not particularly challenging to get a flight from New York to California. People do it all the time." Okay, so let's look at the accusation in a rational way. Well, yes, it could be seen as somewhat hypocritical to use a private jet whilst talking about carbon emissions, because yes, private jets do increase significantly your individual carbon emission. But then the same could be said about many other people who are constantly talking about climate change, say, for example, Bill Gates. Now, the average person has a carbon footprint of 5 tons, just 5 tons. Bill Gates has a carbon footprint of nearly 8,000 tonnes. That means that Bill Gates, just one person, has the equivalent carbon footprint of 1,600 people. That's a lot. So yes, it is hypocritical of him to bang on about carbon emissions when he has a carbon footprint that is 1,600 times higher than everybody else, to everyone that he is preaching to. And this is purely from his private jet use. He owns 4 private jets and owns a private jet business. So not only does he have an enormous carbon footprint from his own 4 personally owned private jets, he also rents out private jets to other very rich people as well. And then we have people like John Kerry, who is the climate envoy. Again, he has a private jet and his family use it for personal holidays. And then Prince Charles, who uses private jets all the time. They all do, and the majority of them far more than Meghan and Harry do. So if the label of hypocrite is going to be thrown around, let's see it used on the people who truly have a massive carbon footprint, like Bill Gates, Prince Charles, etc., who talk about climate change much more than Meghan and Harry do. There is also the question of why can they not use commercial airplanes? You have to factor in the safety equation in that, the security that would have to be involved, how that is incorporated with a public flight. This is a very difficult thing to do. If you recall, there was that William and Kate PR event a couple of years ago, which shows William and Kate on a commercial flight. That was a PR stunt again, in an attempt to make them look good, while simultaneously making Harry and Meghan look bad. If you look at most of their recent journeys since then, they have been on private jets. So when you see these stories regarding Meghan and Harry and private jets, it is once again being used for the smear campaign against them, and to focus on them is unfair, because they all use private jets all the time, especially the ones that I just mentioned, the ones who are telling you what you should be doing to help the environment, while they have a carbon footprint 1,600 times larger than yours. Thank you for listening. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about these issues, and I'll see you next time.